Flower Mound, Texas just grabbed the #1 spot in the Southwest region as the most livable place among small to medium-sized cities. What's really impressive, this suburb beat out major cities, places famous for world-class nightlife and big city culture. Having lived in North Texas all my life, almost 50 years, I've seen the evolution of these neighborhoods firsthand. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how this ranking works because the gap that helped them win is exactly what buyers tend to misunderstand. Stick with me because by the end of this, you're going to know if this #1 ranking actually applies to your life. We're talking about a town of about 75,000 people that just outrank cities with $1 million skylines and massive entertainment districts. It's not just livability. Niche.com just confirmed Flower Mound is the #1 place to live in the entire country, and even the governor's office recently recognized Flower Mound as the top community for beautification in the state. Flower Mound took the top spot for the entire Southwest. This is in Denton County. It's a Denton County suburb, 30 miles north of Dallas, beating out places that put millions of visitors every year and usually dominate where should I live conversations. Honestly, this caught some people off guard. Flower Mound doesn't always have the immediate name recognition of Austin or even Dallas, but it won, and it's an incredible spot. The real question is, what does #1 actually mean for you? To understand why Flower Mound took the trophy, we have to understand what the ranking is actually measuring. This isn't about being the coolest city. While livability looks at the mechanics, Niche.com takes it a step further by layering in millions of actual resident reviews with hard data from the Department of Education and the FBI. In their 2026 report card, Flower Mound didn't just participate, it dominated. It currently holds the #1 spot for the best places to live in Denton County and the #1 spot for best places to raise a family in the country. What makes Niche different is their methodology. They analyze dozens of public data sets, but they give a massive 10% weight to parent and student surveys on the overall experience. They're looking at the A+ grades across the board. Good for families, A+. Jobs, A+. They aren't just asking if the roads are paved, they're asking if the community actually feels like home. Having lived in Texas for almost 50 years, I've seen exactly how these rankings are earned. Niche rewards the fact that 80% of residents in Flower Mound report a strong sense of community, unlike major metros like Dallas and Fort Worth, which often struggle with high-density friction. Flower Mound stays in the sweet spot. The population is hovering between 75 and 80,000. I think it's around 78,000 today. It's large enough to offer diverse food and shopping, but small enough to maintain the highest ranked public schools in the entire state. Flower Mound earned its high marks because it offers a rural feel with suburban amenities, a rare combination that keeps crime rates nearly non-existent. Niche is essentially measuring long-term satisfaction. Rankings love places where the schools are elite, the streets are safe, and the neighbors actually know each other. That brings up the real question, how does a suburb build that kind of consistent A+ predictability year after year? Are these niche grades matching up with your priorities? Let's talk about it. The location advantage. Before we keep going, if you're weighing Flower Mound against other North Texas spots like Highland Village, South Lake, or Grapevine, my business partner, Mindy Bone, and I help families and professionals sort through these markets based on what actually matters to you and your family, not just what gets published in a magazine. Mindy and I have helped hundreds of families every year relocate here to the Dallas-Fort Worth area within the Metroplex. All of our information is below or on the screen, and we'd be happy to help you navigate when and where you should move. So why does Flower Mound score so high? It really comes down to 5 key advantages. #1 is geography. It sits right in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth and is optimized for anyone traveling frequently to DFW Airport. The airport is only about 11 miles away. It's about a 15-minute drive. Downtown Dallas is 28 miles southeast and Fort Worth is 33 miles southwest. So residents can tap into the economic potential of both cities without dealing with the friction with both cities. With median household incomes hitting between $180,000 and $216,000, an average commute of 25 minutes, you're getting big city income potential without the big city stress. Next is safety and stability. Flower Mound's number one safety score comes from low property crime and stable owner-occupied neighborhoods. People stay in their homes here for a long time. The town's 2025 SmartGrowth update reinforces that because development gets evaluated on a community-wide impact before projects ever get approved. Rankings reward that kind of predictability. And then you have, this is kind of 3 and 4 together, schools and family life and safety. So safety and stability create the conditions for the schools to thrive. Flower Mound is part of the Louisville Independent School District, which serves most of the area with high graduation rates. Powerhouse schools like Marcus High, the public library system is even, they're updating their 24-hour self-service centers. That's planned through a bond project in 2025. This family-heavy population creates steady demand and it feeds itself. People stay put, school enrollment stays predictable, and the town keeps investing in parks. In fact, Flower Mound approved $82 million in 2025 for park expansion, which tells you they're thinking long term, which brings up number 5, planning for the long game. Flower Mound is intentionally boring, and that's the point. It isn't trying to be trendy or experimental. It's built for routine, raising families, and long-range planning. With over 1,000 acres of parkland and Grapevine Lake access, you have plenty to do without cranking up density. The SmartGrowth program manages development through 28 threshold criteria covering everything from infrastructure to environmental quality. You get a balanced tax base where development has to make sense without dumping the cost on homeowners. This leads to predictable appreciation. Median home values moved from the mid 500s in 2024 to the high 500s in 2025. And those statistics are showing values staying very consistent in that range. These are all wonderful things. However, we need to talk about who this is not for. Here's the reality check. Flower Mound isn't optimized if you want walkable nightlife, urban density, cheap starter homes, constant new construction. The amenities score are around 68, which points to limited entertainment. Density is intentionally constrained. If you're an entry-level buyer looking for something in the low 300s, you're likely going to be priced out of this market. Being number one doesn't mean it's best for everyone. It means it's best for a specific set of priorities. If you're chasing excitement or constant change, Flower Mound isn't the number one. But if you're optimizing for safety, school performance, and controlled growth, it makes complete sense. This works for buyers planning to stay 5 to 10 years and need access to the airport and major employment hubs. Market data from late 2025 shows homes pending in 36 to 58 days, usually selling around 3% below list price. That is stable demand, not panic offers or heavy flipping activity. Flower Mound's competitive advantages, the airport, the smart growth limits, and the top tier safety create the exact kind of predictable living environment that scores high on these data sets. It delivers on a specific value proposition: safety, infrastructure, and suburban comfort paired with big city access. That number one ranking applies to families at a specific life stage, the ones who have moved past chasing excitement and started building for long-term stability. That distinction helps you decide if these strengths match your actual priorities or if this is just another headline. If you're comparing Flower Mound to Southlake or Frisco, you want to understand which trade-offs match your goals. Send us an email or text. Our info is below or on the screen. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can be the first to know what's happening in Fort Worth and the surrounding communities. Thanks for watching.